Welcome everybody to day 4 of our Space Week. We're going to do some cool stuff today with Miss Jacy. She's going to go over all of that with you. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to type it into the chat window. We have a very special guest, Ariel, here today. Yay! We're so happy to have you. She'll be in the chat window answering some questions for you and helping out Jacy. That's it for me. So take it away.
All right. Hi, everybody. It is so nice to have you all with me today. I am going to invite you to find a spot to sit somewhere on the ground. And we are going to take a trip into space today. If you're like me, when you take a long trip, you want to take some food with you. So we are going to bake ourselves a pizza to take on our trip with us. So if you have an open space where you can sit down, and I'm going to invite you to open up your pizza oven and sit with your legs in a straddle. And we're going to turn that into a pizza oven in just a minute. But before we can put our pizza in the oven, we have to make our dough. So to make pizza dough, you need flour, and I left my flour on the shelf all the way up there. All right, you did too, by the way. So you can reach up as high as you can and grab that bag of flour and bring it off the shelf and down. Ooh, that was a heavy bag of flour. We're gonna need a couple cups of flour in there. Scoop some flour in here, into your big bowl. All right, now let's put that flour way back up on that shelf. Reach as tall as you can with the tall back. Slide down that shelf. Okay, so we have our flour in our bowl. Now we need a little bit of water. Reach over to the side, grab your pitcher of water, pour some in. Put that pitcher back. I think we need a little bit more water. Let's see, let's reach over to the other side for our other pitcher. Pour some water in. And put that pitcher back. Okay, that's looking pretty good. We need a little bit of yeast. It's way over on the table across from us. Can you reach as far forward as you can and grab that packet of yeast? And we're gonna put that in our bowl. And then we have to stir it up. Are you ready? I'm gonna grab your big wooden spoon and you're gonna stir up your pizza dough. All right. Is yours all stirred up? Oh, you gotta go the other way now. Make sure you scrape all the way to the edges. See if you can get to your leg, to your toe, as far out in front of you, to your other toe, to your leg, and back again. One more big stir. Whew, okay, that looks pretty good so far. Let's take our dough, we're gonna dump it out. And now we have to roll it. Can you grab your rolling pin? Roll your dough as far forward as you can, out to one toe, roll it all the way out to the other toe, to the front, and one toe, all the way over to the other toe. Okay, whoo, that is one big pizza. Now, this is where you get to be creative. What do you like on your pizza? I know some people who like cheese and pepperoni with no sauce.
That's me.
Is that you, Ariel?
Yes.
You'll need to come over for pizza sometime. I started making pizza at home, specifically because when I call and order it with no sauce, they get confused.
They're probably like,
pizza with no sauce. All right. I personally like sauce on my pizza. If you don't, if you like white sauce, if you like, I know some people like garlic and butter on their pizza, which is really yummy. So whatever it is that you like on your pizza, first you can go ahead and pour it on there. Oh, but I left my sauce all the way up there. Reach way up, grab my pot of sauce, bring it down, my ladle, and I'm gonna pour sauce all over my pizza. Now, I know that when the astronauts go out into space, they don't get to bake pizza like this. But because we're going for pretend, we're going to take some space pizza. Astronauts have to eat special astronaut food that can still be healthy to eat, that they can eat where there's no gravity. We're going to have our pretend space pizza. All right, so I got my sauce on there. What kind of cheese do you like, Ariel?
I really like mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella, very good.
Mozzarella, awesome. All right, I'm gonna do a mix of mozzarella and Parmesan.
Ooh, it sounds
Yeah,
good.
the bag I got from the grocery store has a mix. It's pretty yummy. All right, so I'm gonna grab my cheese over here and I'm gonna sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Oh, and some cheese over here and sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. All right, I've got cheese all over my pizza. And now you can add whatever else you like. If you like sausage and pepperoni, if you like tomatoes, if you like spinach, if you like mushrooms. I actually started eating mushrooms because it was on pizza and decided I actually kind of like them a little bit. So, all right, Ariel, what are you going to put on your pizza?
I really love pepperoni. That's my favorite.
And
I also like spinach. Kind of weird.
Yeah, pepperoni.
So good.
I like both those things, but I've never had them together. I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to do my favorite, pepperoni, onion, and green peppers. All right, so get your veggies on there. Make sure you get to all the edges of your pizza. Even though the crust is really yummy, I think it's even yummier when it's covered in cheese and vegetables. All right, we got our cheese and veggies all on there. So here's the tricky part. Our pizza's really big. So when you pick it up, you have to be really careful because we're going to slide it in the oven right over there. So you're going to use your hands and you're going to slide them underneath the pizza. And then lift the pizza up and slide it into the oven. Okay. Now, we have a very special timer that we can use while our pizza's in the oven. So you sit Indian style with a tall straight back and put your hands out. You're going to pretend that you are the clock. And we're going to count to 10 and see if that pizza's ready. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, you know, it doesn't quite smell ready yet. Let me peek. Oh, that cheese doesn't melt yet. I think it needs another 10. Are you ready? We're going to start on this side this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's check that pizza. Smells good. Looks good too. Fantastic. All right. Now, you're going to have to figure out how to pack up this pizza to take it with us. I'm going to cut mine in pieces. I'm going to stack them up. And I'm going to put them in my space bag. Anything else that you're going to need to take with us on our space journey, let's put it in the bag, right? So we're going to need a space suit, right? We're going to need a helmet. And anything else you think you might need, probably some moon boots, right? Some moon boots. And we have a space shuttle, but that's not going to go in our bag. I wonder, Ariel, is there anything else we would need to go out of our space, you think?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know how this works, but I think we need some water so that we're always hydrated.
Fantastic. Of course, we have food. We need some water. All right, pack up a jug of water. That is a great question. I really wonder what the astronauts do about water. I know part of it, but I wonder what they take up there.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
I wonder if Arden's here. Maybe Arden can share with us if she happens to know, or anyone else that knows a lot about space. But here we go. We got our bag packed, and now we are going to sing our space shuttle song so we can go from Earth to the moon. Are you ready? Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're leaving very soon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard the rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're leaving very soon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard the rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're leaving very soon. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we are leaving Earth and we are moving towards the moon. All right, we are in our rocket ship because we are going to explore our solar system.
Ooh.
All right, so let's see here. If you take a close look, you can see the sun down here. And we are here. This is that's Earth, and this is Earth's moon. So we are going to travel from Earth to Earth's moon in our rocket ship. And when we travel there, we get to see a very interesting sight. From our space shuttle, we can look back and see the Earth.
Whoa, that's beautiful.
Look, isn't it? It's so pretty. And this is an interesting fact about outer space. My grandparents didn't really know what the Earth actually looked like when they were my age, because nobody had been out to outer space. It wasn't until the astronauts went to the moon that human beings saw photographs of the whole planet Earth for the first time in human history.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe my generation is the first generation to have this information from the time we were born moving forward. Wow. And it changes the way we interact with each other when we can see that we're all on the same ball. Changes the way people thought. There's something else interesting about this picture. If you look really closely, let's see if I can get it without the glare. You see, part of the Earth is dark and part of the Earth is light, right? And that, let's see, I can get a better angle here. Ooh, that's better. All right, so when you look at that, you see these little lights here? Those are the lights that human beings turn on when it's nighttime so we can still see, because we don't have the light from the sun at night. And if you look, you can see this line right down the middle of the Earth. On this side, it's daytime. And on this side, it's nighttime.
Wow. Did anyone else know that in the chat? So cool.
We have a very wide range of ages, so I'm curious. I'm very curious who knows about this and who is still learning. All right, let me turn it back this way. So here is why that happens. In space, right, there's the sun. It doesn't quite look like this. It's actually kind of a sphere. And just as a reminder, the sun is not a planet. It is a giant ball of burning gas. It's not even solid like planets are. Planets are solid. The Earth is a big ball of burning gas. And that burning gas is really, really hot. And it's really, really bright.
Ooh.
So when that sun shines on half of the Earth, let me back up a little bit so you can see better. It's going to shine almost directly on the line called the equator. And that's why it's so hot there, because the sun is so strong there, because it's pointed directly there. And then as the Earth spins and moves around the sun, it changes where the light is hitting. And that's what makes daytime and nighttime. Now, if you want to be scientifically accurate, then you would have to have two more hands, because the Earth would spin two ways. It spins on its axis, and it also goes around the Earth, like kind of like this. Although the Earth is a sphere, right? So it still shows light all the way around. And that's how the seasons change too. When we are further away from the sun, it's actually summertime, but the rays are more direct on our part of the planet. In our winter, we're actually closer, but the sun doesn't shine directly on us. We don't get as much sunlight, and that makes it winter where we are.
Oh, I think Emily said, yeah, the sun is also a star. Yes.
Good point, and it's my favorite star. This book is by J. Bynum. You are so right. It is a star. And so if you stop and think about all those stars that we can see sometimes out at night, it's possible each one is a sun with planets around it.
That could be true.
Sunrise, sunrise, sunny days. My name is Cosmo, and I love the sun. People always ask me questions about the sun. Join me as I shine some light on why the sun is so special. What is the sun? The sun is a star. It is closer to us than any other star. That is why it is so bright. How big is the sun? The sun is really, really big. Driving in a fast car, it would take over 3 years to drive around the sun. Why is daytime light and nighttime dark? The sun rises in the morning to light up the sky. At night, the sun goes down, the sky becomes dark. Now, this is how we usually explain it, but it's not the sun that goes up and down. It's the earth that spins. And to us, it looks like the sun is going up and down in the sky because we're the ones moving. The sun moves too. They did learn that recently, and it spins. And they know that because it has little solar spots, and they can watch the solar spots go around. But it's not the sun that goes up and down. It's our earth that turns. How does the sun help us? The sun gives us light. It is our main source of heat. Sunshine also helps our food to grow. Plants turn sunlight into food. That's pretty cool.
Whoa.
Is the sun ever bad for us? Yes, the sun is very hot. Remember to wear sunblock. Mm-hmm. All of these questions have made me remember one more fact. Just how much I love to have fun in the sun. And there's our solar system. This is the system that goes around the sun. Solar means sun. And we are that third planet. All right, so now we saw why half of the earth is light. But what about the moon? Why is it that sometimes when we look up at the sky, we can see a whole moon, but then other times there's almost no moon at all? Well, the moon, unlike the earth, has a light side and a dark side. The earth is the same all the way around, but the moon isn't. Mm. The moon has one side that reflects light, that when light hits it, it pushes the light back so we can see it. And the other side absorbs light. So when the light hits it, it stays there and it doesn't bounce off and we can't see it. So this is a little experiment that you can do at home. Take a ball of tinfoil and leave half of it regular tinfoil. And the other half you can cover with paint or glue or Mod Podge or something just to make it a little more dull. And then you can see how when the sun shines on one side, you see how bright that gets? That reflects right off. But on the other side, well, I guess on the camera, it looks like it's still shining pretty bright. On the other side, it doesn't reflect quite as well. So when we see it in the sky, it changes. So the moon is always the same shape, but we see it in different shapes because of how it rotates and how the sun hits it. So you can try that at home too with a ball of tinfoil and make half of it dull to see how the reflection changes when you shine the flashlight on it in different ways. Okay, so we visited the moon, and now we're going to get back in our rocket ship because we are going to take a trip to Mars. So we need to get, let's see. We're going to get back in our rocket ships.
Are you guys ready to get back in your rocket ship?
All right, this is going to be a standing one this time. We don't have to sit down this time. Let's see if you guys can see me well. If you all can see me. All right. You see me pretty well?
Yes.
All right, so first, we're going to go to our landing strip. Can you put one foot out in front of you and bend your front knee? Keep your balance. Keep your back leg straight. And you're going to put your arms up and you're going to show the control tower that you are ready for takeoff. Are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Bring your back leg to join your front leg. Squat down with your arms behind you. We are going to take off. Swing your arms forward and stand on up. When you're all the way up, join your hands together and bring up one leg for tree pose, and we're going to call it rocket ship. Fly on through the sky. And then, oh, look, there's the moon, and it is in a half crescent. Can you put one hand down by your leg and bring your other up over your head? Bend over to the side for a crescent moon. What if that crescent moon was going to the other side? There's another crescent moon. And maybe it's a different time of the month and it is a half moon. And maybe that half moon goes over the other side too. Oh my goodness, and there's the sun! Open your legs up wide and your arms up wide. Ah, and soak in that sunlight. Fantastic. All right, so we're in our ship and we're gonna land on Mars. Woo. Keep your balance. Land on down, go back to your squat. And then back to your lunge as we land. All right, we are now on the planet Mars. And a friend of mine, let's see. Mousetronaut.
Ooh.
By astronaut Mark Kelly. Illustrated by C.F. Payne. A mouse in a spacesuit. Very curious. Constellations. Based on a partially true story. Now, as I read this, there really was a mouse that went up into space, but the way it happened wasn't exactly the way the story is told. If you are interested, the Evanston Public Library is now doing book pickups. So if you don't have this book at home, and if you don't have access to an online library, you can set it up for pickup at the Evanston Public Library. And in the very back of the book, it tells you the real story of the mouse. But for today, we're going to listen to the version written by the astronaut, Mark Kelly. The space shuttle is set for a launch, and the astronauts are doing their last-minute training to prepare for the mission.
NASA is sending along some special guests for this flight, and they're training too. Exercising, they're learning things, just like the astronauts. One mouse is smaller than all the rest. His name is Meteor. The other mice know he won't be chosen for this important mission. But someone has an eye on Meteor, and he's impressed with the little mouse's hard work. The shuttle commander announces that 6 mice will be selected for the flight. He picks 5 of the biggest, strongest mice. But for the 6th spot, to everyone's surprise, he chooses Meteor. All 6 are taken to their new home, a special cage called the Mouse Hotel. The other mice are nervous as the countdown begins, but not Meteor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. At first, the mice are pressed flat against their cages by the power of the launch. But then the pressure goes away. The other mice cling to their cage in terror. But not Meteor. He loves the feeling of weightlessness. Hey, little guy, the commander says, you're a natural, a real live mousetronaut. Meteor is taken from his cage and gets a tour of the shuttle. He can even see the Earth way off in the distance. See a little bit of Earth peeking through the window there. The astronauts are all very busy during the 14th day of flight. There are spacewalks to take and experiments to conduct. But what can Meteor do to help? Then, while answering email, one of the astronauts notices the key to the control panel stuck between the monitors. When he tries to get it out, he accidentally gets it wedged even further down. This isn't good, says the commander. We need that key back. The astronaut tries to move the monitor, but it doesn't budge. Another slips her fingers into the crack, but the key is stuck down too deep. One even tries pushing it out with a long piece of metal, but no luck. No one can reach it. The astronauts are getting worried, but as they discuss the problem, a tiny figure has an idea. Maybe the smallest isn't a bad thing, Meteor says to himself. Maybe I can be useful on this flight. Meteor squeezes his way into the crack. The space is dark and cramped, but Meteor spots the key and tugs at it with all of his might. Hey, look at what our tiny friend has done, the commander says. He's saved the mission. When the shuttle returns to Earth, Meteor is declared a hero. He's even given a brand new uniform and an official title, Mousetronaut. All the astronauts cheer and applaud, but Meteor is already thinking about his next big mission. Now, this is the part that tells the true story of the space launch. So if that's something you're interested in, you can see if you can find this book on an online library or pick it up at the Evanston Public Library. Again, it's called Mousetronaut by astronaut Mark Kelly, illustrated by C.F. Payne. All right, before, oh, sorry, Ariel, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. Has anyone read that book before? I want to open it.
I'm curious. There's a second one too. I forget what the second one's called. I think Mousetronaut Goes to Mars, I think is the second one.
Oh, maybe
He gets to go. He gets to drive the rover. That's a fun one too. We are going to take a look we're on Mars now, right? So we're going to take a look around and look at some of the stars. And so I showed you the picture of the planet Earth earlier, right, from this book. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this book. It is called Light, the Visible Spectrum and Beyond. Now, this book is by Kimberly Arcand and Megan Watsky. Now, one of the really neat things about these two people that wrote this book, they both work for NASA. They're both researchers for NASA, and they're both women. There's not a lot of women scientists. And so to find a book with two female scientists who work for NASA and put together a book of their research, I thought was really pretty cool. So some of the pictures in here are photographs and some of them are drawings, but this is a close-up of the sun. See how different that looks? There's some spots that are very bright and there's some spots that are very dark. These dark spots are called sunspots, and that's how they know that the Earth spins, is because you can see, if you watch the sun for a long time, you can see the sunspots kind of rotate around. And my piece of paper fell out. Oh, here we go. This is the Milky Way. This is a cluster of stars that we are a part of. Now, this book has a whole bunch of other pictures that doesn't have to do with space, that are pretty neat, but there's a whole bunch of really cool space pictures. They talk about how the light moves through space. And so if this is something that interests you, I highly recommend this book too. Okay, so now that we're on Mars, we can see a lot of stars from where we are. And when there's one star, like the sun, that's close to us, we call it our sun. We don't call it a star because it does a lot of things for our planet, like keep our planet alive, keep it warm, make sure there's food. But the stars that are further away, we don't really get all that much light from them other than what we can see. We can't feel their heat. Their light doesn't make our planet bright. We just can see them at night. And when a bunch of stars are together and we look at them from way far away, they make a group. You can imagine them making a group, and you can imagine that group making pictures. So if you look, this is what the night sky looks like with all of the stars. Now, in case you didn't know, what stars you see depends on where you live on the planet Earth. For example, on our side of the planet, we can see a very famous constellation called the Big Dipper. Here's the Big Dipper. You see it right there. I don't know how easy it is for you all to see that.
Yes.
But if you are on the southern hemisphere, you are going to see a whole different group of stars. And one of the very famous groups of stars makes a circle. So depending on where you are on Earth, you're going to see different stars because you're looking at a different part of the universe. And so a fun activity that you can do at home, I've got a couple different suggestions. If you choose a constellation, right? So this group of stars, people connect these stars, not quite like connect the dots, but if you think of a shape around the stars, you'll find a constellation, and this is the constellation Cassiopeia. So if you would like, you can take a piece of black construction paper. You can either, if you have a book, or you can go online and do a little bit of research, and you can see where the stars are supposed to be and kind of see what size they are, right? Because there's big stars, there's medium ones, there's little ones. And you can use either a sharp pencil or a dull needle or a toothpick to poke holes in paper and shine a flashlight through. And you can make your own constellations. For anybody who was a part of the creators workshop yesterday, it's kind of like what I did at the top of the diorama when I poked those holes in. You can do the same thing just with a piece of paper. You can also make your own constellations with toothpicks and some clay. So I'm just going to show you how to put this together. And if it's something you're interested in, this is something you can do later today. On Pinterest, I did post some different things that you can do. I'll show you how to do this. All right, so I have some toothpicks and I have some clay that does not dry. It's some people call it plasticine. There's some different names for it, but it's the kind of clay that if you leave it out, it doesn't dry. So you can use the clay, and if you don't have this kind of clay, you can use marshmallows. You can use gummy candies. You just have to be very careful because once you put the toothpicks in there, you can't eat them anymore, especially if you leave them out to dry. So once you use them for your art project, they're not food anymore. Just really tempting. That's why I think clay works a little bit better. I'm not tempted to eat it. So if you put the ball of clay on there, you can connect your toothpicks to make the different constellations. So if you wanted to make the Big Dipper, you could build yourself a square and you could add the handle. You can also, there are some different toys that you could use that you can do this with. If anyone has the kind of toy where you have the magnet strips with the balls, you can use those. And sometimes marble run pieces, you can build them in a certain way to make them look like the constellations. You can be creative and do some different things like that. And if you do make anything, don't forget to send it to us. All right.
For sure.
We are going to have to go from Mars back to Earth now. Can't leave you all on Mars. All right. So we got to go back to the launch pad. We got to go back and we got to show Mission Control that we are ready to go with your front leg bent and your back leg straight and your arms up in the air. Let's show Mission Control that we are ready to come back home. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your legs together, squat on down, and take off. Going through space all the way back to Earth. Look, there's that half moon again. Ooh, we can see it from the other side. And there's the sun star. Oh, the bask in its glow. Back in our spaceship. And land on down to Earth. And show Mission Control we are landed and ready to come out of our spaceship. That was a fun trip. Although I am now realizing we forgot to eat our pizza. We should probably do that too. All right, so in our last few minutes, I'm very, very curious. What else do you all know about outer space? Let's see here.
Has anyone seen any cool space movies? I know I've seen quite a few. Maybe people can open up in the chat if you've seen a cool movie.
Which space movies do you really like?
I have seen, what have I seen? I've seen Gravity, I think it's called, with Sandra Bullock. I saw that a while ago. Interstellar, it's a good one. Oh, has anyone else seen any? Oh, someone has seen Apollo 13. Okay.
Apollo 13. That's a good one. Nice. So Ariel, if you in your lifetime had an opportunity to travel to outer space, would you go?
I probably would. I really would. I've always been interested in space. But even more so, I've been interested in the deep ocean, actually, which is cool. What about you? Would you be interested in going to space?
I would consider it. I would have to learn a little bit more about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I get a little scared in tight places, so I'm thinking maybe a space shuttle is not the right place for me.
Yes, exactly. Oh,
if it weren't for that, I would love to do the travel.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to be out there. I just don't know how I would do on the space shuttle. You mentioned like the deep ocean. An interesting fact: we have explored more of our outer space than we have our own oceans.
Wow.
Our oceans are so big and so deep that we haven't even really begun to find out what's down there because we don't even really have the technology to get ourselves down there. We've gotten to a point where we can send robots down there and collect things. Like they've unfortunately found plastic all the way down at one of the deepest trenches that we can get to. But that's an interesting way to look at the world, isn't it? We know more about outer space than our own planet.
Wow. That says a lot. Wow. Isn't
Well,
it like we only discovered 5% of the ocean? Is that right?
I'm not sure exactly what the percentage is, but it's pretty small. I would say that
Okay.
that sounds close to accurate. I just don't know exactly what the figure is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing the chat here say a lot of people are saying no, I would not go to space. I get that. Yep.
So here's another question I have.
Yeah.
What kinds of things do you think that aliens could do that humans could not?
That's a really good question. Maybe we can open up the chat. Who thinks, what do you think aliens do that we don't? For me, I feel like they could sense more things. Maybe they have, we have 5 senses, but maybe they have 6, 7, 20. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Different kinds of senses. What would they be?
Oh, I feel like they would have some cool technology, just like maybe they could read minds or something. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Some mind reading. I really want aliens to be able to fly or float.
Oh,
because as a human being, that's something that I would really, really like to be able to do.
Yes, me too.
I can't. I'm hoping maybe another being could.
Yes. Someone said, I think aliens have no Donald Trump. It's probably true. only on Earth.
It'd be interesting to hear what their political views are, for sure.
Yep.
An outside perspective.
I just wanted to join the conversation.
Awesome. What do you think, Natalie?
Okay, so the question is, what do I think aliens have the ability to do?
Yes.
I like float. I like read minds. Maybe they have time control. They can go back in time or visit different time periods. I don't know. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I did hear somebody on the radio recently when NASA said that they did verify a unidentified flying object, that they actually saw one and they have footage of it. Somebody suggested that the aliens were going to come here to vacation and then took a look at what was happening and decided not to come.
I don't blame them.
Maybe a pandemic is not the right time to go visit Earth.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not.
There's better times to visit.
Yes. Come another day.
Mhm. Maybe they have all the answers to all the pandemics. Like they have all the cures.
If they do, it'd be really nice if they could share it with us.
Right, correct. Yeah.
I'm
We'll
sure.
have to write a letter.
Send it to space.
I'll work.
It's there now.
Also, because I'm me, I do just have to throw in there, human beings actually have 7 senses.
7?
7.
Wait, what?
Mhm.
I didn't know this. Wait.
Can we guess?
We don't, you can guess, but I can pretty much guarantee you wouldn't get it.
Okay, so sight, hearing, taste, touch. What else? Ariel, help me. Everybody help me. What are they?
Who else? What's the last one? What's the last of the 5 that we all know? Who knows in the chat? Anyone?
Help them out.
We need one last one.
Smell.
No, exactly.
Duh.
So those are the 5 senses that we talk about a lot as human beings, right?
Yes.
We actually have 2 more.
Okay.
There's proprioceptive
Ooh.
and vestibular.
I'm writing this
So
down.
break it down. What does that mean?
And I'm gonna let you look up to see exactly which one's which, because my mind gets things mixed up, and these are things that I tend to mix up. One of them helps you. They both help you move through space, right? So one of them is balance, how you balance in space, and the other one is where you are in space.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So if you think about, I'm a leaner, right? When I do dishes, I lean on the counter.
Okay.
When I walk through the door, I bump myself on the door because I have poor vestibular and proprioceptive feedback. My body does not have a good idea of where it is in space, and my balance is a little bit off. But those are 2 things that we oftentimes forget about, especially when it comes to learning. Vestibular and proprioceptive feedback are incredibly important when it comes to learning, because your brain cannot do a good job learning if it's constantly trying to figure out where it is in space, because your brain is way more concerned with where you are in space,
Yeah.
because it's necessary for survival, than learning. So when you have those things off, it makes it more challenging to be a good learner when your proprioceptive and your vestibular senses are off.
This is fascinating.
Wow, I did not know
I'm
that.
the same
That's
way.
so
I
cool.
bump into everything. I am always covered in bruises.
Me too. So those, just so you know, there's a bunch of occupational therapy exercises and such that you can do to help better manage your vestibular and proprioceptive feedback.
That's so interesting. Wow.
Wow, I did not know that.
I like to sit on the floor. Does that mean anything?
I believe it means that your core is weak,
Oh,
right? Because when you sit on the floor,
I wasn't
Indian style,
expecting an answer.
I don't know. I think it's more comfortable being on the floor too, but I'm also a preschool teacher, so that's where I spend most of my life.
I just thought it was very like earth oriented.
I mean, it could be too. It could have nothing to do
On
with.
Yeah,
earth.
close to the ground. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like I don't like to wear shoes. I like to sit on the floor.
Very like connected with like the earth and nature, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or my core is weak. Maybe both.
I can relate. So me too.
Me too. Me too.
We've
I've
learned
been working on mine for the last couple of years. It's gotten a little bit better.
Does anybody out there have any questions for Jacy or Ariel? Maybe anything about space? I have learned so much this week. I've learned so much every single week with every theme that we've done.
Wow.
Everybody is so, so smart.
To be honest with you, this is part of why I love living and working in Evanston, and particularly at Ridgeville, is that I find that a lot of the kids, not only do they know a lot of information, but they also have really great imaginations. And when you know a lot of things and you have a great imagination, possibilities are really limitless.
Yeah.
Creativities, sparks everywhere. I always learn a lot when I'm at Ridgeville, so I miss being in person this year.
Yeah. I know.
It's good for your brain. You got to keep that up all the way into your old age. That's what keeps you young. Learning and doing new things, that's what keeps you young.
Yes.
Very true.
Yes. I've been reading a lot.
That's great.
Lots and lots of reading in the quarantine, which is great. I miss reading.
Yes.
Before I had a car and was driving, I would take trains and buses and I would just read all the time. And then I started driving and I didn't have that ability to do that. So it's been nice. I've missed it.
That's really
Yeah, Addie and Griffin, you read a lot too?
That's awesome.
What are your favorite kinds of books to read? Yes, Dee. I like that. I'm going to start using it.
I know my daughters have been really, really, really into the How to Train Your Dragon series.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I got about halfway through the first book by the time I got lapped and my book got stolen from me. So I tried to keep up. There was no way.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Ooh. What did I read?
Oh, we have a question
Yes.
from Miss Emily. She would like to know if she can use your last name in one of her books.
She may. Thank you so much for asking first. You can use my middle and my last name. You can put Costa Herman on there.
Ooh.
Ooh, very cool.
Emily, is this a book that you're writing?
Oh, I see we have Percy Jackson, Warriors, and for Addie Penderwicks. Okay, I've heard of the first two. Very cool.
Warriors. What's the Warriors one?
Isn't that like with the cats? I could be
That's
wrong.
what I was wondering. My niece really likes those warrior cat books.
Yeah, I don't think I ever read them, but I know there's like 100 of them.
Yes, the warrior about the cats. Yes, my niece has read all of those.
What
I'm hoping to get them soon because I think my girls will like those too.
Are they cat warriors?
I think so.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Does anyone know how many there are? I feel like I always see a new one coming out, at least when I was younger.
That's my favorite thing to read is a series because I get very invested in characters and they feel like my friends. And so I'm always so sad when a book ends because I feel like I'm going to miss my friends. So I love a series because then I have, so many books to read.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense. Well, the cats are warriors and some are in clans. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Never read them.
Very interesting.
I have another book recommendation, and it is a series, Natalie.
Woo. Okay.
I have read this series probably at least 5 times. There's 4 books.
Okay.
They're called the Alana the Warrior.
Alana the Warrior?
Wait, it's not Alana the Warrior. The Lioness. Alana the Lioness.
Alana the Lioness. I'm going to write it down.
Wow.
They are geared towards junior high, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But it's the story of a girl in the Middle Ages who pretends to be a boy so she can go through the knighthood.
Ooh, yes. Love,
Okay.
love. Okay.
They're fantastic.
Sign me up.
Highly recommended.
Great. That sounds great.
Let's see, Griffin. Emily, you were saying that you did the Barnes and Noble's book contest. Those are fun. Is that the one where you read certain books and then you get to earn a free book?
Oh, that's cool.
We did that a couple summers ago. We got the Owl Diary books, which are also, oh no, it's not that one. I didn't know Barnes and Noble was doing another one. I mean, mind you, I haven't really left my house, so.
Right.
Sorry, it's hard to keep up on things.
Yeah. Ladies, we're about at time.
Oh, you write a book? Oh, you write a book and then you can get it published. That's so cool.
That is really cool. Oh my gosh.
Super cool.
I want to do it.
When is that contest?
15
How
people.
long is it going for?
Is it once a year that they do this contest?
I have no idea. I didn't know about this.
I didn't either. Wait, let's see what she says.
You know, it's
Gotcha.
Got it. But I can support you.
well, and
Or maybe
also
Yeah.
you guys can also help each other out. You can give each other's stories and give each other critiques before you turn it in.
Yeah.
So that the story is even that more polished by the time you turn it in.
Yeah, you can be book editors for each other. That's pretty cool.
Great idea.
That is really neat.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time to say goodbye. This hour flew by.
It did. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming today. We'll see some of you this afternoon. You're all welcome to join us at 2 o'clock for interactive camp with our friend Wes. And if we don't see you this afternoon, hopefully we will tomorrow or next week for Nature Week.
Ooh, I would love to come to that one.
Yes,
Who
yes,
else
yes.
can come? We would love to see you there.
Yes, please do.
It's going to be a fun one.
It is. All right. Thank you, Jacy. Thank you, Ariel. Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
all.
Ridgeville hug.
Ridgeville hug.
Oh, Ariel, we have to teach you. So Ridgeville hug, make an R, a sign R, and then you do a hug. Yeah.
Oh, that is so nice. Okay.
Hug. Since we can't hug each other, we can.
Until we can.
Yeah. All right, everybody. See ya.
Bye.